everybody, and welcome back to K4 Code's Corner episode. I think it's 8 or 9. I don't
I
know.
think 9.
I think
I think 9.
I'll figure it out when I post the video. It's fine.
We'll
I
figure
always
this out in post.
when I post the video, right? I have to open up two tabs. The first tab to post the video, second tab to go to my own channel to look at the previous episode to find the number of the episode. It's really bad. It's
Uh,
really embarrassing, and I have to do it every single week. And yeah. Anyway,
it takes a toll.
psychological toll, yes. Um,
We're
last
still
time
riding that Call of Duty high.
we are, yeah. Last time, we started a riot. I think is what happened, right?
Yes,
Well, I say
yes, we
we.
started a riot.
Cairo started a riot, almost
Yes, I
single-handedly.
did. But wait, my friend, you're forgetting the introductions.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I'm joined today by the Imperator, who's obviously always here.
Greetings.
Uh,
And what seems to be a special guest today,
yeah, our lovely friend Javier.
Aha! You never expected it.
aka Garbanzo Don the Bean, Chibi Jamba Jr.,
The greatest name that I have yet to come
the
up with.
god,
Yeah,
the god.
and you don't know who I am, so I'm just not gonna tell you my own name because, you know. Anyway,
Hint, hint, it's Codian.
last time, so to fill in, Mr. Oid, if we will,
Yes. Yes.
let's see. We had a training mission, like a simulation we got invited to by the guy from Hermes who was like, hey, if you want access to bigger and better contracts for my company, you got to get trained. Little did we know it was actually not training. It was just like the Hunger Games sort of deal. It was paintball
For
guns.
paintball, yeah.
But we got there, and this one team decided to bring in actual guns because they wanted to extract a giant stash of cocaine from the island that they were on for one of their bosses. We killed their leader, and then peacefully left the other two by taking some of the cocaine for ourselves, and then leaving with the award money. And then we sold the cocaine for like 15 grand each. It was a good time.
And we can now mass produce it because I gave you a little bit to mass produce,
Yeah, we gave
Sir
you a sample.
Oid.
Little eight, not even 8 ball, dime bag.
Not even
Yeah.
dime bag, little dime bag. So
And,
now we can mass produce some cocaine.
Yeah, and then after that, we got contacted by some Jackson Industries corporate schmucks who were like, "Hey, there's an ongoing strike right now," and actually no, between the training mission and the Jackson Industries guys, we met the super famous massive celebrity Outcast and her band of wannabe rocker boys. We saved them from an
Yeah.
assassination attempt by destroying an entire car.
Yeah.
Um,
To give clarification, that was a sniper shot by me.
Yeah, using a sniper rifle that you got from the team member whose gun you stole back on the island and was allowed to keep.
Yeah.
Because I felt
Yeah.
charitable that
Somehow.
day. Yeah.
Somehow.
Then we got kind of a Jackson Industry dude who's like, hey, our company, one of our factories is on strike right now. We want you guys to go and break the strike. And to which we responded by drawing guns on him and forcing him out of the room. And then when he left, we were cornered by one of the workers who was like, hey, I'm the leader of this strike. I want you guys to come and help us stop the strike.
And be a symbol.
Yeah, and rather than follow the guy's directions, we decided to start a riot and storm the factory with sheer force and break the strike that way.
No, we didn't break the strike. We broke the line.
We ended the strike, but we ended up breaking the siege of the strike.
Yeah.
With force instead of, espionage and sneaky infiltration like the original plan was supposed to be. But
hey, you know
whatever.
what? We lit a fire in the belly of the people.
We did. Now those workers have rights. Well, a right, I guess. They have one right.
They have one right.
They can unionize.
That is to not work.
Yeah.
All things to be seen in this coming episode.
Yeah. So.
We also got bonus addicted to drugs.
Nice.
Yeah. We found I ended up rolling up a random encounter, and turns out there's a dispensary right next to the noodle shop. And
no, not next to it, like a
across
couple
the
of
street,
blocks
yeah.
down.
And it's they sell all sorts of like different medicinal and recreational narcotics of varying strengths and weaknesses. And Bonus decided to use some to sleep soundly.
Yeah.
And it worked.
But you know what the kicker is? It was a ramen packet.
Yeah, with weed THC oil in the ramen spice,
Yes.
which was
Spiked ramen?
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
during the session, right? Kairo's like, hey, so I forget why. I'm pretty sure I had the clerk for this shop eating ramen because he's high, so he's hungry.
No. He was just chilling behind the counter, and then
You're
I'm like,
hey, do you have ramen?
so my friend has a very like specific set of tastes. Would you have a ramen packet laced with like THC or CBD? And he was like, that's a good idea. And then he just unnaturally floated to the back room.
Yeah, he like walk floats sometimes because he's just that high. He's transcended existence.
He's literally walking on air.
Basically, he's walking on that smoke down below him. Yeah, so we got that spiked ramen pack that helped bonus sleep.
That was very low dose. And then
It was.
Cairo got an extremely high dose of melatonin.
Yeah, I think it was like 70%, something like that.
78.
Yeah.
78.
Potency. Jesus, he had a little grown horse right there. Put in a
Sends
coma.
me into a catatonic state.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think we rejoin our intrepid anti-heroes.
Last thing was bonus logging into the computer.
Yeah. And
That's
he
what
had,
we saw last.
Yeah, he had used a computer in his apartment to access a secret corporate forum that was talking about like the strikes and like going after people that were responsible for it and like how they were going to respond to the demands of the workers, because you know you let one factory have unionizing rights and you got to let everybody have unionizing rights. it's not an exclusive thing, you know. So companies were like, well, we already have those rights, so suck a dick. And just like, well, no, and that's what that forum's like. It's just all children ranting to each other on the internet. Like it's like they do comment section, but like worse because it's all rich people.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I think we wake up, we come back on I think probably gonna be a week later after the riots. We've all had to lay low a little bit because well, you know, you start a citywide riot and that's gonna happen.
So in the meantime, I probably would have switched everything in my apartment to across the hall.
All right, cool. Actually, it's
And
very clever idea. Okay, make a note of that really quick. Hold on.
yeah, I now have a different apartment.
So I think what you could do is you could like just like swap the numbers on the doors.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
exactly
yeah.
what I do.
Epic. All right.
So now my apartment is like 478 when it used to be like
460
560 something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got a different apartment now. I mean, Mr. Andrew Oid is safe because he wasn't involved. He's just making drugs.
Yeah, he was
Like, imagine me caring about people's rights.
says
No. The funny
minority.
part was, there was what's it called?
What?
What's the word for it? It's a robot, like an android's rights group.
Oh
I
yeah.
guess?
Yeah, the Clank group. I have the name. Hold on. Did I
Yeah.
put it in the card yet? I don't think I put it in the card. Didn't put it in the
No,
card.
I don't think you did.
Let me pull up the wiki. Hold on.
Gotta
I came prepared for this session, alright? Don't judge me. I know my own lore. Shut up. I'm a master of my own writing, okay? I have total control.
But yeah, no.
Next Tolkien here, folks.
A cyborg equal rights group came in and we were like, yeah, we will support this.
The Proclaimers of the Emancipation, they took credit for the riot.
They didn't take credit.
Well, they like
Based
supported
on what they
the
said,
riot.
they supported our riot.
Making a note of some things. Okay. Yep. Okay. So, week later, after the riots, so the city has more or less calmed down. You can still hear some little lingerings of inquisitive random passersby talking about, what happened to the guys who ran the riot and, stuff like that.
Yeah. I admire the door to my dwelling with extreme pride. It's the perfect crime.
Yes, mail fraud. The greatest
I mean,
crime.
I'd have a PO box. I'd have a PO box.
All right. So you're just committing housing fraud.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Beautiful. You get arrested for housing fraud. You're in jail, and you're like, I got arrested for 12 counts of murder. What are you in here for? Housing fraud. Shock.
Housing
Absolutely
fraud.
scandalous.
Monster.
No, I can see it now. Cairo's in like the corner smoking a glow stick. Everybody's like in another part of the cell.
Yeah.
What are you in here for? Housing fraud.
You're a
You
monster.
monster.
You're worse than the devil himself. Yeah. So
No, I'm probably doing my morning routine.
yeah. What's Mr. Oip been doing over the past week? Hearing all the news of what your two companions have been going on, romping about, destroying city blocks.
Mass producing cocaine.
It's like a
Well,
plan.
I have been doing that, and I'm also thinking, wow, who are these people? Why do they do this?
The answer for bonus is only money. Cairo does it out of some weird moral ambiguity. I don't know, whatever. He has his own reasons.
Rights to the people.
Yeah. And I think, a full 7 days passes over the riot, and we're doing our thing, mass producing cocaine, sitting in our apartment weeping. In Bonus's case, Cairo is committing housing fraud, I guess.
Wait, why is Bonus weeping?
Oh, he's just a sad guy. I mean,
What?
He probably would have been doing other jobs for like the Crescent, whatever, and like going around like breaking kneecaps and stuff. But he did it. He put a suppressor on his gun this time, so it's not. He's clandestine.
Since
Top
when?
secret. Top secret operations for Mr. Bonus.
So Cairo's pretty much the only one chilling right now.
Yeah, pretty much everybody else is still on that grind, and you're just here committing housing fraud for the fun of it.
That's not the only thing I'm doing.
No, you just every day for the whole week, you just take random numbers off of other apartments and add them to your number. A 7-digit millions number apartment.
I have equated pi with my apartment number.
Yeah. Every day you wake up and change it a little bit.
Yeah, I probably switch out a number every day.
Man walks up, goes, oh, what the hell? And it's just like leaves the mail on your front doorstep, like Jesus Christ, and walks away. Anyway, enough of the housing fraud. I think we all wake up, and we all have a nice, Twitter DM, but not Twitter. It's something else, unknown social media platform, unnamed.
Flitter. Flitter.
Yeah, Flitter. And it's from the Johnson from the Hermes Johnson, as you all prefer to call him. He has a name, by the way. Just don't use it. I told you he's told you his name. He's just like his name is Hermes Johnson. That's just what it is. So that's in my notes. I have every time I talk about him, I have Hermes Johnson and in parentheses his actual name because I don't want to forget his real name. So you'll wake up with a DM from him, and it just says, meet me at the condemned bar.
We've got another patron.
Yes, another lovely patron.
I think it's starting to grow on him. I mean, Cairo's just gonna get up and check socials. News, social.
News.
See what the talk of the town is.
All right, make me a perception check.
All right.
To look for that news. We get all the yellow journalism.
Of course. 8. Here we go.
Very nice. So you read up a lot. You kind of like scroll past a lot of corporate propaganda, a
Of
lot of stuff
course.
that's just about like, oh, buy this thing and you'll, I don't know, be rich and famous or something.
You need this.
Yeah.
Doctors hate this person for this reason.
It's only 10.99 every month to find out. Um, and yeah, so you scroll through all the ads and all like the corporate sponsored news articles and stuff. But a lot of the talk of the town seems to be a lot of stuff on like Outcast. Her performances are still going on. They're still very, very like they're still selling out. But you would also pick up with that 8 roll that there are every one of her performances. There's either been a gunfight, a fist fight, a riot, an explosion. Somebody's died at every single one of her concerts. Not her fault, but people have kept dying at her concerts. And
Hmm.
the news outlets are like, "Oh, what's going on? Is she killing people?" And then people are like, "No, what? No,
No,
to her,
no.
why? Like, no." And
What?
yeah, so that seems to be like the thing you find out. She's still very big in the news. She's a international celebrity. Um, you might also have heard. I think. Would Kyra have checked, like, the corporate newsletters and stuff?
I mean, yeah, probably.
Okay. So, frontline news for the Hermes Gazette, which is the Hermes corporate sponsored newsletter. Um, there is a photo of a depressed looking man, short, fat, looks like the penguin from that one Batman movie. And with minus like his nose is a little bit smaller than the penguins, but
I believe that was Beyond,
possibly. I don't know.
possibly one of the Batman movies.
Yeah,
It's the one with George Clooney.
yeah. Batman and Robin. Anyway, um, George Clooney, Bat Nips. That's the movie.
Bat Nips.
Yeah. So this photo, this dude, and the headline is executive loses cargo ship, possible termination, and then question mark.
I already know what this is gonna entail. I already know what's coming, and I'm not gonna do
course.
it.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it.
No, I'm not.
You're gonna like it.
Kyra just lets out like a deep sigh. At least I know what's coming.
And I think in the Jackson newsletter, probably we hear some stuff about like workers' rights and how other factories are like, we want the right to unionize, and they're like, no, and they're like, eat a dick, and they're like, all right, you're like, okay, and then
Everybody's just telling Ji to eat a dick.
yeah, pretty much. And then if you ever go on the Coding Enterprises corporate newsletter, all their news is just bashing Jackson Industries. It's just every article is just bad mouthing either the employees, the company,
Also,
all of it.
by the way, I have a new company for you to add.
Ah, shoot
Phoenix Firearms.
away. Ah, I like it. I like it. I can add that after the session's over. I can add a new card and a new tracker, and we've jacked the
Yes.
Jackson Industries tracker right back up to the the orange mark. So yeah, so you read that stuff. Does Mr. Oi one do anything before he heads off?
You see, I'm a sucker for patterns and shit. So before I leave, I'm going to, take all of the illegal drugs I've been making over the
All
past.
the cocaine
Yeah.
over the past like month.
Yeah, and I'm gonna cut them up into nice little bricks. You gotta care about
Perfect.
packaging.
Mm,
I'll put a
Perfect.
bow on some of them too.
nice, perfect.
We've got context for this.
We do actually. We have a nice smuggler friend of ours in the regime who bought
Yes.
the drugs. Let's see. I'll say so. It's been over like close to like a month. So I'll say that you would have 3 full bricks of cocaine.
Sick.
Which is
Dang.
like 45,000 colors worth of drugs. You just have in your apartment, I like the island, the kitchen island, sitting there with bows on them. Yeah, so you do that. Your lovely robotic patterns, your super precise movements. Each brick is identical because it's so precise movements. And the bows are all exactly the same. It's kind of creepy, but whatever. And then bonus, he just gets the text and just kind of like leaves. He doesn't do anything. He grabs like a granola bar from his like cabinet, and then he goes. He has nothing better to do with his time. Uh, yeah, so we all head to the condemned bar.
Yeah.
We all get there more or less at the same time, I think. And we all squeeze our way through the little like 4 foot wide, 3.5 foot wide alleyway, squeezing between this giant skyscraper building into the actual bar lot.
Yeah.
And you walk in, and the captain's behind the corner. Corner?
The bar.
Yes, counter is what I'm looking for. And he's like, yeah. He's like, he's over there, and he just points to like the same back booth that gets used every day for these guys.
I'm
apparently.
gonna finger guns at the captain.
He's like uses the middle finger and turns away. He's serving drinks.
My helmet's up, by the way.
Of course.
All right. Yeah, I'll go sit.
Yep. Bonus. He follows his course. He stands as usual, arms crossed, intimidating. And then Mr. Oid inevitably follows behind.
So as I sit down, I'm gonna refer to this guy, Mr. Johnson.
I mean, that would be the technical way to refer to these guys as like the Johnson, but he's holding to his name. Whatever, it's fine. Who cares? Screw my NPC ideas. Whatever. Who needs names? Anyway.
Dakota,
Exactly.
please. You didn't even remember your own lore. How are we supposed to?
Touche. So I think when you sit down, he has like his feet up on the table in this booth, and he's just like arms behind his head. He's got like a nice navy blue suit on. He has like weird like long-toed, like pointy-toed, like boots on that have the Hermes feathers for off the heel to be really on brand and really flamboyantly annoying. And they glow too.
So as I sit, I'm gonna like brush his feet off the table. Come on,
And
where's your manners?
He's like, He's like, if it isn't the gentleman I was looking for, and he kind of like gestures his arms wide to the collection of assorted rabble.
I'm just gonna like put my arm up and sit back.
And the Hermes Johnson, God, it bothers me so much to use his not his real name. The Hermes Johnson, he kind of like leans in, and he's like, well, I'm glad that you all decided to show up. I thought it might be a bit tough to get you both, well, the three of you here with the recent hubbub over at the Dyson Industries factory the other day.
Yeah, well, we tried peace, and peace didn't work.
He's like, oh, trust me. He's like, my branch of the company, I was tasked with delivering the body bags to the rioters. So you made us money, my friend. Don't feel bad. And he like pats you on the shoulder, across the table.
I'm gonna give him like one long death stare.
And a cheesy smile.
He's like, and we come to you, my unnatural friend. And he points to Mr. Oid.
My unnaturally happy friend.
He's like, I noticed you've been getting a lot of very specific chemicals delivered to your apartment recently, and I must say, and he taps his nose. He goes, I'm a fan, and he. And he's like, anyway, I'm not here to buy drugs today. That's on Thursdays. He's like, and he like finger guns over to Mr. Oid again. And he's like, okay. He's like, they're actually here.
After he finger guns, I'm gonna turn to him and you're unusually cheery.
Like, oh, I'm very cheery. He's like, you see, I'm not a very how would you say, jolly man, right? but there are a few things in this world that make me happy. Cocaine, of course. Number two is gaining favors from my friends in the company. And you see, one of my friends, and he air quotes that, one of my friends in the company is in charge of importing raw materials over from Africa to Ryanstown to then be sold off to Jackson Industries factories, the one that you may or may not have been involved in the firebombing of. Don't worry, I won't tell anybody. And he kind of like leans away again, and he's like, "So, this friend of mine, right? He's kind of eccentric. I guess is the nicest way I can put it. How I would actually put it is he's just a massive asshole, but that's just my personal opinion. Now, why I'm friends with him is that the company, the board of directors, for whatever goddamn reason, I do not know, decided to give him executive control over the Hermes distributing site off the coast of Ryanstown. It's an oil rig that we use as like a nexus for our helicopters, our underground train system, our shipping lanes for oceanic travel, and so he runs that site, and he made the mistake, the unfortunate mistake. Of course, I'm broken up about it. That he managed to lose a cargo ship full of several million colors worth of raw ores and diamonds shipped over from Africa to be sent to some companies over here. And he's willing to pay anybody, any team that can get that ship back, whatever price they ask of him, within reason, of course, in order to acquire the ship again. So I talked to him, and I said, "Hey, buddy, I know just the guys that would be more than willing to do this job for you. They've done work for me in the past. They haven't died yet, so they're obviously reliable." And he's like, "Just help me, please." So I came to you, and I'm here to extend a helping invitation.
Why did I see this coming?
And he's like, "So I'm assuming that's a yes." And then you all of us get little AR messages, and it's an address for a local cafe. Do I have the name of the cafe? No, I used to. Anyway, it's a local cafe that's like in the rich side of town, and he's like, "You can head here in in a couple hours, and my friend and I will both be waiting there to discuss the finer intricacies of the case."
I'm gonna look to everybody else in the party.
Bonus is stoically standing, like leaning against the edge of the booth, and just kind of like mask on. You can't tell he's even awake at this point. He's just standing there.
Hey,
Bonus kind of, and he kind of like she's head a little bit, and he's like, "Huh?"
all right, Oid, what do you think?
I think this will be a good opportunity, financially and otherwise.
Fine, but you owe us one.
And Johnson's like, "Hey, my friends, come on. All right, come on. I said that I would hook you all up with some advanced contracts if you did well on that training simulation. And you know what? You didn't get killed, so that's good enough in my book. So here I am. I'm just claiming my end of the bargain."
Is he like, here I am, stuck in the middle with you?
Yeah, pretty much. And he's like, "Now for total, client, client boss transparency here, I will be getting a cut of whatever money he pays you. That he offered to pay me for the referral, if you will. So I have a stake in this too. So don't think that I'm just like sending you guys out there to get murdered. I'm gonna get, this is more than my reputation on the line. So yeah. Anyway, cafe. 2 hours. See you there, nerds. And he stands up and saunters out of the room.
I'm gonna turn to my compatriots.
Bonus is napping again.
Alright, well. Well, let's get out of here.
Alrighty. So you head over to this cafe. It is like a full hour and a half drive. This is in the like corporate parks,
Hmm.
all the modern art and like the pretty lakes and the manicured lawns and the fancy bushes and stuff. This is like
Yeah.
that part of the city, and then like around it's like a Central Park. So there's like the main wood park area, and then all around that and the surrounding streets are all like cafes and like little restaurants and like art galleries and like museums and stuff like that. And it's really nice here. The streets, for once, are totally clean. There's not a single piece of gum or scrap of trash anywhere. Buildings are all super nice, some massive skyscrapers, all glistening white and glass and stuff. Um, and we all pull up in our various modes of transportation.
So on my way here, I was making a post to my various social medias of like a snippet of music that I'd probably worked on during the off week that we had,
Mm,
and the caption is "Something is coming."
okay. Yeah, so you like put out that little teaser, and it'll start blowing up a little bit. So we all reach the cafe, and sitting outside, out front of the cafe, is the short, fat, ugly, bald white guy in like a tweed suit, and next
Mm.
to him is the Hermes Johnson in his cool aviator sunglasses and his bright flashy Rolex watch and his giant Hermes boots that are just obscenely ugly. Like these are never gonna be in fashion, but he probably has to
He
wear them.
wears them anyway.
Yeah, for some corporate contract, he has to wear them. Also bet to somebody something. I
No,
don't
he
know.
just wears them by choice.
Yeah, and he's also there, and they appear to be talking together. They both have mugs of coffee, and there's a little plate of like scones in the middle table.
All right. So we're like walking up to them now, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
I'm gonna approach the table, Johnson.
The Hermes Johnson just like looks up and he's like he finger guns you and he's like, "Please, gentlemen, have a seat. Have some scones, some croissants." Uh, and he like
Shut the-
claps his hands, and a waitress in long blonde hair, the very nice dress like button down blouse, the apron and stuff, and slacks, walks over holding two mugs of coffee, and then
Why not three?
because the robot can't drink.
But she doesn't know that.
Hermes Johnson knows that,
As if.
and she brings over two cups of coffee, and the Johnson looks over to Mr. Oid, and he's like, "I'm terribly sorry, but what do your people drink for, beverages? Do you drink at all?"
I'm going to give him a very quizzical look, and I'm going to go, I'll have coffee.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
His jaw kind of drops a little bit, and he like his hand is still half extended outwards, and he's just like, "Okay," and he kind of
Okay.
like waves over, like wipes a finger over at the waitress, and she brings over a third cup of coffee, and he's like, "All right, now that piece of awkward conversation is over with," and he turns to his short ugly friend next to him, and he goes, "Gentlemen, this is Mr. Harold Gilks."
I hate that name.
That's the point. And he's like, "Ah, hello there. hello. How nice to meet you all. How are you? And he extends a hand out to shake everybody.
I'm just gonna sit there, hands in pockets.
He puts a hand out, waits, nobody takes it, and then he just puts it back down. He's like, okay, on to business, I see. On to business.
Tough crowd, tough crowd.
Yeah. It's like, all
Oh,
right.
by the way, I hope you know, Dakota, that since from the moment I sat down, I copied these guys' faces just because.
Okay,
Yes!
sure.
Yes.
I'm gonna make another. I'm gonna add this note card over here, and say copy faces : Hermes Johnson and Harold Gilks. Capitalize the H, please, computer. There we go. All right. Yeah. So you kind of like discreetly scan their faces. Neither of them seem to see or care. You can't tell which. And the Mr. Gilks is like, he's like, all right. It's like, well, I appreciate all of you coming here and meeting with me in my time of need. And he kind of leans over to the other Johnson, and he's like, my friend, thank you. And he like smacks him on taps him on the shoulder like gratitude. And when he turns around to talk to you guys, you all see the other Johnson wipe his shoulder where the guy touched him, and like almost disgust, but like not like discreet disgust. Uh, and Mr. Gilks is like, so as I'm sure my friend here has told all of you, I recently lost a cargo ship full of raw materials for the distribution site off the coast of the city. Now, I sent some other company employees to search for it, but they couldn't find any of it, any trace. They did find that the tracking GPS on the ship was disabled a few miles off, away from the oil rig, and no SOS managed to get out. So we don't know what happened. Yeah. I offer each of you 15,000 collars if you get my boat back, and you have to also retrieve the captain alive. He's a family friend of mine. My mother would kill me if he ended up dead. So
First question: what are we dealing with here?
well, then what do you mean? The cargo ship? It's a
Yes.
cargo ship. It's well. He lists off like some really intricate engineering specs for this ship that none of you understand.
No. How did you lose the ship?
It's like, we don't know that. The trap we just a day ago, about a day ago anyway. So in my office, right, we all have like not iPads, tablets, and we have apps that let us track the different boats and stuff, and the airplanes and the trains, and we can track individual shipment numbers and stuff. But the GPS for that cargo ship just went offline about a day ago, and we didn't get any SOS. We haven't gotten any. We sent ships, other boats along that trade route to go look for the boat. They didn't find anything. We don't know where it went.
What of the possibility that it just went down?
Well, I mean, that could be a possibility. I did some salvage crews out along the trade route to kind of like look on the ocean floor or whatever, but they won't be back for like another day or two, probably. Yeah, so.
I see.
He kind of like awkwardly stares at the three of you, and you see the other Johnson's kind of like slowly shaking his head in his hand, just like, oh my god.
Anyway, how are we getting there?
He's like, oh, don't worry about transportation. He's like, I invite all of you, if you want to make use of our equipment, our tracking equipment, want to take a boat out. Um, all 5 of us here, and he kind of just turned on the table. We all have prepared rooms on board that oil rig that's owned by Hermes Corporation. And they have speedboats, they have submarines, they got helicopters, they got all sorts of cool, fun vehicles for you guys to use. And I'll give you guys the permissions and stuff to access as parts of the rig.
Hmm. Okay, so this is going to be a very interesting part of Pharaoh's past. I've decided. You'll find out later. Don't worry.
Okay, sure.
All right. All right. What model oil rig is it?
He lists probably would list like a specialized model that you probably haven't heard. I know it depends on how into Hermes Corp you have been.
It's not into Hermes Corp. It's into
Like oil rigging.
being out on the sea and oil rigging. Yeah.
Well, he would list like he calls it an oil rig, but from the model number and like the design number that he describes, it's not an oil rig. It's just a sea platform.
Okay. So let me get this straight. You have an oil rig, air quotes. That isn't an oil rig.
He's like, well, I mean, it probably used to have oil, but when Hermes Corporation bought it after fiscal suicide of 2020, uh, they converted it into a transportation nexus, right? So underneath on the sea floor, there are still the pipes underneath there, but we've connected the pipes to and turned them into giant underground automated drone-operated train system that runs supplies under the water. And then it's also a hangar for helicopters and stuff, cargo helicopters. There's an airfield there. And there's also a bunch like on the sea level, on the surface. There's also the docks for the big cargo ships, small cargo ships, submarines, speedboats, yachts, stuff like that.
Hmm.
It's just a big nexus
Interesting.
of vehicles and of all kinds, all kinds.
I'm sure I'll be able to find my way around.
Like, well, there are like maps and stuff around the place.
Not necessary.
Like, alrighty. Any other questions before we go and set off to help save my career?
I'll look at my other cohorts.
Bonus does not care.
Okay. Well,
Any
Arthur.
any
Arthur?
questions? Any questions from Mr. Oid?
I flash everyone a weird smile. Also, has the coffee arrived yet?
Yeah, the coffee's here.
Coffee's been there.
Yeah.
All right. So when the coffee arrives, I pick it up, and I don't drink it. I just hold it like slightly aloft the whole conversation.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. You kind of hold it a couple of inches off of the table in both hands.
You like throw it over your shoulder and then, mmm.
No, he just holds it there. The whole conversation.
Okay.
I think I might understand the reference this is trying to pull to the like he's getting the heat from the mug.
Mm.
And yeah, so you just hold the thing there. The Hermes Johnson next to the ugly fat white guy kind of like eyes you the whole time, kind of like trying to see if you're actually gonna drink the coffee or not. Like he's like, "Don't waste my coffee." He's like just staring you down, waiting for you to take a drink.
Every now and again, I stare him dead in the eyes with my cheesy smile before I return to my blank face.
So every time you look him in the eyes, he also smiles back at you, and then when you look away, he goes back to like glaring at you. His whole side conversation going on the table.
You're the best of friends.
Oh my god. Just the most awkward charisma character ever, and I love it.
All right. Well, let's get our asses out there.
Alrighty. So, the Mr. Gilks tells you can bring your vehicles to the docks, and he will, they'll store them there, safe for safekeeping, while you're on the oil rig. And you can retrieve them when you arrive back. You can bring any guns, any equipment, any computers, whatever you need to get this job done. Mr. Gilks is willing to pay the company to let you bring it onto the oil rig or sea platform, I guess.
I mean, I'm gonna take what I need. I'm gonna take basic coding laptop, my drone, my bike, my two pistols, my sniper rifle.
Cool. If bonus
Let's
brings
see.
his guns.
What else do I need to bring? Trying to think.
I don't think there's much.
I think that's it.
I think that's it. You're a relatively light traveler.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mr. Oy bring anything interesting aboard the oil rig, or does he kind
I don't really have anything interesting. Just my guns, and that's about it.
of light, even lighter than bonus is traveling? Excellent. So yeah, we all head over to the docks. You store your cars in those ferry style like on the shore. There's like parking garages and stuff. And you get on board this yacht. A couple hours boat ride. We arrive at this gigantic sea platform. Like presumably Kyra's been on an oil rig in the past. This is like 3 oil rigs in a line with a bunch of other stuff added on top of it and below it, underneath it, and around it and stuff. And there are helicopters flying overhead. There are boats patrolling back and forth. You can see people running back and forth of all different kinds and the colors and shapes and different clothes and stuff. And it's like a floating city basically. It's a mini floating city.
Mm.
And the yacht pulls up into this the overhang of the sea platform is giant, these huge metal cylinders that go all the way down to the sea floor, and then around them are these huge docks, like metal jetties that kind of go off in different directions around each of the pillars for boats to dock there and stuff. And the yacht, docks on one of these jetties, and Mr. Gilks and the Hermes Johnson, they get off and start. They've been talking the whole time about like money and I don't know, stocks or something stupid. And they leave, and they walk up this spiraling. There would be an elevator in the metal cylinder. They get into the support structure for the sea platforms, and they get in this elevator, and you see the elevator descend up to the actual platform itself.
Yeah.
And the 3 of us are left to our own devices.
Very well. So, Caller will probably have a vague understanding of how this oil rig, transport rig, dock rig works. So as soon as he gets there, he's like, "All right, nerds, I'll see you at your bunks." And then he like does the weird slide down the railings, like where he puts like both hands on the railings and then slides down without
Yeah.
touching the stairs.
Mm.
Yeah, he does that because they're like the steep staircases.
Yeah. The naval ship staircases.
Yes.
Uh,
No one knows why. He knows what an oil rig is like, but hey.
I think what he asks. Bonus just kind of hoists his little duffel bag of extra clothes and stuff. Looks around and walks up the stairs. Actually, no, he would get on the elevator, wait for the elevator to arrive, and then go up to the platform.
I mean, I went downstairs.
You went into the underwater part of the ship,
No,
the sea platform.
no.
So we are on the dock still. We're at water level right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then I go to the underwater. Water. Yes. Let's see.
You kind of take the elevator down into this underwater section, and it kind of like the huge metal support structures go all the way to the ocean floor, and you take this elevator, and you descend, and like where the elevator door is, it's like that whole part of the cylinder is glass, so you can see the whole, you can see outside as you're going up or down.
Right.
And as you descend below the water level, you can see all the fish swimming around. You can see submarines. You can see divers welding stuff and fixing pipes and putting stuff together. You see automated drones hovering, floating about and swimming about, doing random tasks, carrying crates and metal beams and stuff. Um, the glow of plasma cutters and stuff off in the distance glows, like lights up some of the ocean floor.
Yeah.
And you kind of, as you kind of keep going, you see that on the bottom of this ocean floor is a giant series of glass domes and like glass cylinders and stuff that are all arranged in weird, almost alien-looking positions across this giant open space. This is a huge, huge platform,
Mhm.
and this underwater city spans out before you, and you kind of reach the bottom of it, and the door of the elevator slides open, and it's a little like airlock hallway, and on above the door, um, it would say like executive suites above
Mm.
the door.
So the reason Cairo knows exactly where he's going is because he was before he became Hacker Man. Uh, he was once on a rig because of work.
Mm.
So well before like the whole economic crash and everything, and it became a mega city, got
Yeah.
its cybernetics. He had to go from job to job to support his lifestyle,
Ah,
and
yes. Cairo
one of
the Everyman.
one of those jobs, because he's Egyptian, not from America.
Yeah, he had to immigrate from somewhere at some point.
He emigrated from Egypt,
Yeah.
but yeah, he used to work.
Cool.
Yeah, little snippet of history for Cairo.
Yeah. So yes, you reach the executive suite to the ocean floor. In the meantime, where does Mr. Oid go?
I'm going to. Hmm. I'm deciding if I want to do this joke now or later. And I think I'm going to do it later. I just head to my room.
Okay. Yeah. So you kind of like pass by through the elevator. In the elevator, on one of the walls is this really complicated like AR hologram, three-dimensional map of the sea platform, and you kind of like type in on the touch screen what room you want to go to, and the 3D display like glows that little room so you know where to go, and you go to your room. Um, there, our rooms are very cramped. There's like a bed that's like really thin mattress built into the bulkhead, the wall of uh, this like room. It was a prison cell size. It's really small. And then there's a bed. There is a toilet over like across from the door, and then the other wall, the left wall, there is little indent with like a small little like like a desk, metal desk built into the metal wall casing on the walls and stuff, with like a terminal built into the desk and stuff. You can put your stuff there, do whatever it is Mr. Oid does in his free time, I guess.
Hmm.
Bonus goes to his room as well, I believe. I don't think he has any interest in, he can't use any of the tech on this ship anyway, so, like, who cares? Somebody will find him when they need him, is his opinion.
What bonus?
Yeah. So he goes to his room. Same deal. Seems to be right at home in the super cramped conditions. He just lays down. I like a light. Um, and
I mean, eventually I'll make my way to my room.
alrighty. So you make your way to your room. Um, Evening comes and stuff. Um, whenever like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, there are mess halls here. There are also officers' lounges. There are also bars and other restaurants aboard the sea platform, but you have to use actual money to buy food there. There are also like groceries and stuff like supermarkets and stuff here.
Yeah.
Um, uh, you head back up top, go to your little cramped little bunk room, and you can opt to either have the food delivered to your room or you can go to one of the places and get it yourself.
I'll go get it myself.
Alrighty, bonus is gonna stay in his room.
What a shut-in.
uh, does Mr. Oid opt for staying in or going out?
Uh, I'll go out.
Sure. Where do each of you go?
I'm probably gonna go to the best place that offers food here,
Okay, the fanciest restaurant. Okay.
or the best place here,
Does
because I'm not dealing with that mess of food that workers get again.
okay. Where does Mr. Oid go?
I'm going to do a little bit of scouting. I need to know exactly what's on this rig.
Okay. That's not terribly difficult to find out. Um, you look at one of the maps that's kind of in your room. There's another like in the desk tablet can pop off the map. Um, let's see what would be here. In terms of like just everything, or in terms of like food places or anything specific you're looking for?
Currently, just shops.
Shops. Okay. Um, there are clothing boutiques of various quality. There's like the one for the workers, and there's one for the super rich executives that live here. Um, there is a jeweler here as well, like a watchmaker, jeweler. There are a couple of shoe stores. Pretty much like everything you would find in a mall is probably going to be on this ship. In terms of like more specialty stuff, there would be a dispensary here too. Just as a note. Um, welcome to the future, ladies and gentlemen. Um, then, what else would be here? In terms of like, if you're looking for like a gun store, I don't think they would have like a firearm place. There would be, there's a medical center. You can buy bionics here as well if you wish to do so. There are like
I'm probably gonna get my arms repaired.
there are drone dealers, like car dealerships, but like it's a drone dealership.
Hmm.
And then there are also dealerships for every type of vehicle that can be docked on the station. So boats, helicopters, submarines.
So, quick question. There's like a drone shop, I'm assuming.
Well, there's the drone dealership that would presumably have a workshop somewhere. Yeah.
Okay. And we get everything on the house here.
Some stuff's on the house if it's owned by the company. So like the rig's mess hall, for example, the officers' lounge would be another one. Stuff like that. All that stuff is on the house. But if you want to go to like the the what's a good company that I can use here? Let's see. If you want to go to I know. If you want to go to like the Artificial Life drone workshop, that's paid money to be on the sea platform, that you have to use actual money to pay to buy stuff from there. You can,
Okay.
but it does cost actual money to use their services because they aren't Hermes; they're a different company.
Yeah. All right. I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna get my food and stuff, and then I'm gonna make my way to the drone workshop with Ankh in tow.
Alrighty, you get some food at the officers' lounge. You see some people milling about in various weird military style, like camouflaged, like what's the jumpsuit, military jumpsuit name for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it has a name, but I forget it. But the camo is really weird. The camo looks like camo from a distance, and as you walk past one of them, you see that the little bits of camo are actually like the Hermes feather, but they're all in different colors at weird angles, like a puzzle piece on their jumpsuits.
Hmm.
Looks pretty cool. However, you're not sure how effective it would actually be.
As camouflage? Yeah, no.
Yeah. And it's all like the white and the black and the blue and like the green for the sea naval camo.
Yeah.
And some of them wear like the military flat top caps. Others appear to be like engineers or scientists or geologists or engineers, stuff like that are in lab coats or overalls and or like dress shirts, stuff like that.
So I'm basically gonna get my food and then go right there and then bring it back to my.
Okay, yeah. So you get your food, no problem, and you go over to the drone dealer. The drone dealer. I'm trying to think what company would be a good
Make a new
name.
character.
I'm thinking it will probably have to be either an Artificial Life or a Dream Inc. Drone boutique. Both of them are big into robots.
Hmm.
Artificial Life.
What
Artificial
about
Life is like
Premier Wiring?
they are a literally like electrician company.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
quote unquote. Like they do the wire, literally they do the wiring for buildings. So Artificial Life, their logo is like a super cool, really intricate like circuit board plaque with Artificial Life in quartz crystal on the circuit board over the doorway, and you walk in, and there are this whole like little boutique area are glass cases with different model of drones. Some of them have guns on them, some of them don't. Some of them cameras. Some have like a couple of them have huge what look like subwoofers or like speakers
Hmm.
on the bottom of them. There's they sell really tiny the little eyeball cams for like vloggers and stuff.
Hmm.
They're called pixies. Uh, yeah, there are all different kinds, different colors. And there is a counter, and the counter appears to be from a distance what appears to be manned by a human being, but when you approach, you see that their eyes are made out of chrome metal, and their parts of their face, like their cheekbones and stuff like that, there are little contours where like the ceramic skin color plates, like there are
Oh,
little
okay.
gaps in the skin tone that you can see.
Are there any like actual people here?
I don't know you can see.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna try and find the parts necessary to change out Ank's blades and rechamber the firearm
Okay,
that Ankh carries.
so you want
Only like
to
a caliber to.
okay, so you want to fix his blades, his helicopter blades, quadcopter blades, and
Yes.
give him a bigger pistol. I'm assuming.
Well, yeah, or at least make it so we can fire like a slightly larger caliber. Like either right now, I'd say he fires like what 9 mil.
Yeah, like a 9 mil. Yeah.
I'd want him to fire a 45 ACP.
Okay. Yeah, that's a problem. So you walk up to the counter and stuff, and you tell the robot. She talks like a normal person does, and for all like her movements and everything, she appears to be totally human, except for the little lines and her eyes look weird, and they zoom in and like twist and turn in awkward angles and stuff, and it's like a weird uncanny valley sort
Yeah.
of thing. You tell her like, oh, I'm looking to upgrade my drone. You pull out Ankh, and she's like of course. And she it's like takes Ankh and puts it on the counter, and this glass countertop. When she puts the drone on it, these AR displays suddenly like snaps to life, and like this like weird like wireframe like covers the borders of Ank's like perimeters, and like, these weird words and like binary code and stuff fly by on her side of the counter. She's tapping away unnaturally fast at this like AR holographic keyboard, and
Right.
she pulled. So you can tell she's probably pulling out the specs of your drone and stuff. And she's like, this is a you know, um, Model X employee, and she's like coming right up, sir. And she you know uh, turns around and she walks off into the behind through a really like the wall behind the counter looked to be a solid wall. And she just kind of walks up to one of the wall panels and it slides away, and she walks through it and it closes behind her seamlessly. And then she comes back out 2 minutes later with a small box of needed materials. She's like, "So, do you want us to do the work for you now, or do you want to assemble it yourself?"
I'll do it myself. I can relatively.
She's like, "All right, of course, sir. Here you are." She puts the box of like still packaged parts, like metal milk crate, almost, on the countertop next to her. And in terms
So
of,
Cairo's gonna think for a second
mhm.
and like kind of like take the chin of his mask in his hand and like look away, thought, and then I'm gonna turn back to her. Do you have any kind of chip that could support AI?
And the woman goes, "Ah," she's like, "You've come to the right place. We here at Artificial Life specialize in artificial intelligences." And she pulls out from her forearm, where the veins usually are, this little panel kind of folds open, and you see that it's a line up her entire forearm, two columns of what look like graphics cards for like a camera. And
Hmm.
she pulls them all out, pulls one of them out of her arm, and she goes, "This is an artificial life brand um, AI chip, personality chip." And she goes, "It's like your current drone is not compatible with our personality chips. One moment, please." And you see her eyes kind of like flicker around, like in the room, really quickly. And from the ceiling above the glass counter where Ankh is currently powered down, 4 robotic arms come down from the ceiling and weld this new like almost like an adapter or like a little like extra piece onto like the side of him, and they paint him the same shade of red as the rest of
Well,
him.
he would be like a black and purple.
Mm. And so they painted the same kind of black and purple as everything else, and it matches the pattern and everything. They make it look pretty, and then the arms retract back in the ceiling. Within like less than a minute goes by, arm back in the ceiling. The panel closes again, and she just kind of like sticks the microchip into the little disc, little panel, slides it over to cover the hole, and she's like, "It's like that will be," and she kind of like you see her do like mental math for a second. That would probably be a lot of money for a personality chip. Um,
Well, I'm just looking for like a basic one.
yeah, I would say in total, up to change the caliber of the gun, to repair make them new carbon fiber quadcopter
Well, I'm
blades.
I'm also only getting the pieces for that.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
AI chip was the only thing that I was really getting.
yeah.
What do I have? What do I have? 31, right?
You have yes, I believe so. 31. Yeah. I'll say this probably would cost you like a solid
I'd
one and a
say
half
15.
k. Yeah, one and a
Oh,
half k.
1.5? 1.5?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that works.
Well, I don't know.
Take
'Cause, like,
that
yeah,
gladly.
I think 1.5k would work. This is a very basic personality core. Um, just like R2D2 or like BB8 style, like astromech droid level of intellect. Um,
I'm gonna reprogram that chip.
yeah.
Just
So
telling you, not the lady.
welcome to this corporate employee. I'm gonna destroy your property in a couple of days. No. Yeah. So you pay for the parts and stuff, and she's like, "Have a nice day." And then somebody else walks in and is like, "I demand that you fix my drone," and yada yada yada, and you're just like, "Okay,
Uh,
honey, I'll deal with that."
so I'm gonna like give like an automated whistle. It's just gonna like start up.
And so he kind of The quadcopter's kind of, and he kind of hovers up a little bit off the counter and kind of follows you.
So I'll walk out into the hallway. Ankh.
He kind of flies up, kind of like looks at the camera, kind of looks at you a little bit.
Yeah. Status.
And from the eye, little like circular ball camera mount, a little AR display kind of in front of you. Status, and like it lists off all the different parts of it. Like engines, electricity, visual, audio, like firearm, lists the ammunition, how much it has, stuff like that. All that information is displayed in front of you.
Very good. I'll fix you up later. Make sure that you get hurt.
And the AR display retracts back into the little projector, and the robot follows you.
No beeps.
No beeps yet. Nope, he can't make beeps.
Okay, cool. I'll give him a full personality.
You gotta give him the parts to make beeps.
Well, that is true, but I can also just give him a thing that gives him a personality, and he can like project it onto my AR HUD.
Yeah, that's true. You can
Actually, you know what I think would be a great mod for your drone? A car horn.
No.
This is the.
No.
But it's just really loud and bass boosted from a drone.
No.
Flying around harassing people. I'd put that in there if I was Cairo.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, so you walk off your little drone, bobbing away next to you. Yeah, so the next day does indeed go by. We wake up. It's
I probably didn't sleep. I'm probably installing new parts and writing program to make it so that Ankh actually has a personality.
Yeah, I think like he has that really annoying like Windows update, and then after he reboots, he's like you get this like AR display in your like visual range, and it's all the setup for his personality, and they let you check the boxes and change everything around and how you want him to work and stuff, and so you can like custom emoticons for different emotions he has and fun things like that.
Zero visibility. It's just settings.
Yeah,
right.
You're logged for an hour and a half, and this giant settings screen covers your entire field of view.
So, like, as the morning rolls up, I come out of this just setting up the settings. I come out of this, and the room around me is like pitch black, and I like rub my eyes.
Just like, I think it's like pitch black, and then like after you rub your eyes, and you're like, oh, I'm finally done. I can go to bed. Lights turn back on because it's daytime now. So you're just like,
Oh.
And you hear loud metal banging, metal against metal, and from the other side of the door you hear, "Get up!" from his bonus's voice yelling at you through the door.
Yeah, I heard you. Unc, let's go.
And then little Joan hovers up out of the ground, and you see this little AR projection in like I think it's in your field of view at the bottom left corner of your vision. You see his little emoticon, and he's like,
It's the jackal emoticon.
Yeah, he seems to be doing happy. Little jolly robo, wholesome robo companion.
Unc, what time is it?
And he AR projects. It probably would be like 6 in the morning.
I'm surprised I'm not used to this by now. All right, let's go.
Yeah, so you go on through. Mr. Oi does not need to sleep, so that's fun. It's kind of terrifying, but whatever.
Yeah.
He's walking in, and he's just there staring at you from the chair across the room.
No, honestly, once it starts to get in your morning, I get up and I deliberately stand like just inches away from the door and I T-pose.
His model hasn't loaded in yet.
Yeah, his model, his skin isn't loaded in yet. So as you and Bonus walk by Mr. Oid's door. It automatically opens up. He's just standing there, wide-eyed and T-posing in the doorway.
Disgusting.
As it should be.
Christ.
Almost as disgusting as the vector.
Almost.
Anyways, Dakota, I would like to point out yesterday,
Mhm.
I copied the faces of like a couple random employees.
Okay, yeah, sure. Random Hermes employees. Just gonna rack up the contacts here. Okay.
I'm sure at some point you'll have to get a new
Don't worry, this
processor.
is for a joke.
All right, lovely. You do still have, of course. All right, so yeah, so the new day dawns, and you get your breakfast and stuff, and during breakfast, whatever it is that we decide to do in the morning, we all get that similar AR message that comes across our vision, and it's from Mr. Gilks, asking us to report to the bridge, not the bridge, to his personal office, which is underwater. No, this one be underwater. Office is not underwater. His personal suite, if you will.
Yeah.
At your
Alright,
nearest convenience.
Alright, yeah.
Alrighty. So after hour eating, walking around, doing our things, copying faces, stuff like that, committing housing fraud, we make our way over to the personal suite and office of Mr. Harold Giltz.
Oh, and just before we enter,
Yes.
I don my disguise of one of those random employees, and I look to the other guys, and I nod.
Alright.
Bonus nods back as if he knows what you're doing, but he does not really know what you're doing.
I'm not even gonna.
So as we walk up and your form changes and this illusory hologram appears over you and your weird body like plates move and shift to match the features. The door slides open very smoothly, almost silently, and in the doorway is in a dark navy blue silk robe with the Hermes logo on the left breast, with a cup of coffee and a cigar in his mouth, is Mr. Gilks. He's wearing big, poofy navy blue slippers, and he's like, come right in, come right in. He kind of like waves you inside.
All right. It's
Are you
are
gonna
there
T-pose on
chairs
this
in his
guy?
office?
I guess you walk in, and this suite, you walk in. The first room is what appears to be like a waiting room. There's like a secretary at her desk. There's some tables and chairs, a little water dispenser thing, and he leads you through those and down this little hallway into the right, and the door of this like the sliding glass door, like a placard on it in engraved like glass, and it reads, Mr. Harold Gilks, executive what do we executive manager of uh, site 17, which is what this place is for context sake. And you walk in, and yeah, there are there's his big desk, his chair, and then two chairs in front of the desk.
All right. So I'm going to do my very best to look uncomfortable.
Okay, give me a charisma check to fake that.
All right. 5.
That'll do it. Yeah. So you, kind of sit in one of the seats. Bonus stands behind Cairo, and you're just kind of sitting there squirming really awkwardly. And Mr. Gilks, he kind of walks around his desk waddling because he's super fat and short. And he walks around and he drags his chair out, and then I think he walks up to his chair, and then you kind of he waits a second. His chair automatically slides out for him, He sits in it, and then automatically slides back into it for him. He's that rich and lazy. He kind of puts his coffee mug down, puts his cigarette in like a little ashtray for a second, and he's like, "Oh, what?" And he kind of turns to Mr. Oid, this guy, Mr. Oid, and he's like, can I help you?"
All right, I go. I'm sorry, sir, but I was going to on my shift earlier today, and this weird man in a Hawaiian t-shirt told me to come here and deliver a message.
And Mr. Gilks is like, "Oh, okay."
And I lean in closer to him, and for just a brief moment, my face flashes to Garbanzo, and I say, "Beans." Very, very softly.
I'm gonna make a check for Mr. Gilks to see what he does, how he reacts to this. He got a 9. Okay, so he just kind of like you whisper beans, and he just kind of like huh, like leans back in the chair a little bit, and he's like okay, intern, yeah, be on your way then, I guess.
All right, I get up and I walk out of the room.
And he kind of stares at the doorway after like a couple of seconds after you leave. And he turns to Bonus and Cairo and he's like, "Where is your robot friend?"
Cairo's just gonna put a palm over his eyes, still groggy and tired. If I have to explain this, it's already too late for you.
And after a couple moments, I walk back in with a different face.
with your normal face, or with like another employee's face, or like?
Nah, just. Well, I guess, yeah, normal face.
Okay. Yes, you walk back in and he goes, "Ah, yes, lovely for you to join us, Mr. Oid. Yes. Okay, now we can begin."
Apologies for the lateness. I was taking care of some important business.
He's like, "Ah, yes, of course, I understand." And he seems to be like sweating a little bit now. He's like anxious for some reason, nervous. He's like, "All right." He's like, "Well, today is the big day where all of you begin work trying to find my long lost ship. It's like I've given you all executive access to the bridge of the platform, and the tracking equipment and the docks and stuff, so you can take out vehicles, you can take out diving equipment, you can use the GPS and the satellites and the whatever else."
All right. What was the last known location?
And he kind of like taps a spot on his wooden desk, and this big AR screen kind of like pops up in the middle of the desk, and it shows like a map of Earth, and then it zooms into a map of the Atlantic Ocean, and then a little red blip kind of appears a few miles away from the sea platform, and it glows a little bit, and then this other white line goes through connects the sea platform, the dot, and Western Africa together. It's a little arced white line. But it's a trade route, you presume, and then a little red blip is its last known location.
All right. Well, give me any major item that can process anything over 16 gigabytes of RAM.
And he's like, "Oh, my friend. It's like, we here at Hermes are the transportation experts, and that includes digital transportation." And he takes out from his desk. He's like, "Let me show you something." And he reaches in his desk, and he pulls out a flash drive that's probably as big as a machete. And he's like, "This baby can hold a whole human brain's worth of information."
Interesting.
And then he puts it back in the desk, and he goes, As for the facilities you're asking for, yes, we have the bridge has all that equipment already in there.
All right, well, get me a station that can compute. I'm gonna need access to the security system though.
The security system
Yes.
for the
Well, if
station.
you want me to, if you no, for the ship.
Oh, yeah. I got you. And you get like a little AI notification that says like, you've been like, this is admin
Share
permissions.
password.
No, just admin permissions have been
Nice.
added.
Much obliged. Seeing as I'm the only one here that really does any computing and processing, I'll probably be able to find your ship by the end of the day.
Like, oh, that would be fantastic. Thank you, sir.
Just get me to a station, and not something that's outdated, please. A mega computer at least.
It's like, oh, please, sir, please. You insult my company, please, sir.
Do I have access to a supercomputer?
Not a supercomputer, but you have access to our the Hermes corporate advanced computing systems, which will probably have like 2 gigs of RAM, or no, not 200 gigs of RAM probably. Like it's ludicrously advanced computing software.
I'd say a terabyte is generous, but hey.
Yeah, so he's like, you know, like yeah, like, I'm giving you access. The bridge has the interns there that can show you to the station.
Perfect. I need 2 tech interns that know what they're doing.
He's like, well, I get you the bodies, but the mental faculties, like the one you just saw that walked in here before, I don't know, some of them were a bit off their rocker apparently, but like
Just people that know what they're doing is fine.
he's like, yep, yeah, I can do that.
Perfect. Are the other two gonna join me? Is the question, and watch me work.
Bonus is not going to. Bonus could not care less.
Okay, cool.
Mr. Oid going to
I
join
mean,
you, my friend?
I've got nothing better to do.
All right, cool.
Cool. Okay.
Precious insight.
Yeah, learning the habits of humans. Um. So yeah, so you head over to the bridge. Sure enough, there are 2 interns with like the big, thick lens glasses and their little ID badges taped or like clipped to their dress shirts and their little tablets in their arms and like, oh, it's all right, this way, sir, this way, and he like lead you uh, through these elevators and hallways and sets of stairs and doors and stuff, and eventually you reach the command bridge, and it's like the Star Wars like the Venator class bridges where it's like the main
Yeah.
walkway and like the console wall and like the indented computing stations underneath all that.
Yeah.
And you see that there are people everywhere in this room, interns, engineers. You're just talking about stuff. There are people in like suits and ties, like people like command yelling orders at interns, and yelling about coffee, yelling about stocks, yelling about appointments and times and stuff like that, and it's whole hustle and bustle.
So Cairo's gonna walk into this room and like clear his throat through the mask, like flick it back up,
Mm-hmm.
try to get everybody's attention. I want to do like the finger whistle.
Okay, you do the finger whistle, and everybody kind of stops except for the executives who are all just like, oh, and storm out, offended.
I need a quiet room, a thermos full of coffee, and a computer that can handle what I'm about to do.
And one of the guys who appears to have like smart glasses on, like a visor with like AR display on it, like a bunch of different like other lenses attached to it. He walks up and he's like, "Yeah, you're Gilks' guy, I guess."
Mm.
He's like, ugh, that asshole. It's like, all right, yeah, this way, and he leads you into a off to like one of the other doors off this main bridge, and he like slips his key card on it, and the door slides open, and inside is a single desk, a single light, a single chair, and a single computer.
You're sure this is powerful enough? I need something that can run C++ in, well, half a second flat.
Like, yeah, this will do it. This whole station runs on top of the line stuff.
Good. I need as much caffeine as you can get me.
He's like,
And then Kairo's gonna like crack the servos in his knuckles,
hmm. Okay, yeah,
and
so
like
you,
as I go to like do the crack,
yeah,
like the servos like whir.
mm. And the metal kind of creaks and whines as you do so, and the employee's like, "Yep, yeah, coming right up," and he leaves. And 5 minutes later, he comes back, and he has he like puts in like a big thermos of coffee, hot coffee.
All right, so I'm gonna unscrew the cap and take like a large swig, like put it down, and then get to work.
Okay, yeah, you do that. What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to reroute the path. Well, first things first, I'm trying to turn on like the black box remotely. I'm trying to turn on the tracker remotely because if it's tech,
Hmm.
then it has to have a power source hooked up to the ship. And if the ship is still on,
Well, make
I can
me make me an intelligence
most
check to
likely.
know the model of the cargo ship, or like know what is on the cargo ship, basically.
Oh,
What did you get? A two? Is that enough? Might be enough. I don't know.
8.
8. Yeah, it's like the matches. So you would know that this cargo ship, um, does have, of course, a big generator, a massive generator. And judging by him saying they do have trackers on their ships, they would presumably have uh, remote radio internet access to the ships.
Right.
Um,
So I'm trying to connect into that. I'm trying to connect into the internet on the ship.
okay. Hmm.
I'm basically jacking myself into this.
Okay. I think with the roll of a two, you. How would I work this?
So I find like the diagnostics for the ship and everything, right?
So, to the diagnostics of the ship.
I find like the specs of the ship, right?
Yeah. So you have the specs, you have the size, you have the crew number, like how many people are required to operate the ship. You have like the generator type and size and all that information.
So it does show that it has internet access, right?
Yes, it does.
Is it still running?
Um, the you can searching through the Hermes like server banks basically and like typing in like the model number of the cargo ship and running the search engine like making and then running a search engine for this their whole database thousands of vessels you do find the ship you're looking for after like an hour of letting this computer run its thing.
Right.
You do find the ship you're looking for. It does say that the GPS is disabled, and the black box has also been disabled, but it is still running.
Mm. So this runs off of Wi-Fi. Okay. Well, this has Wi-Fi. I'm gonna
Yes.
I'm gonna check in on the black box.
Uh, the black box. So when you kind of look at the diagnostics of the ship and you
I'm
run the
listening. I'm
checkups,
listening for what the last thing the black box recorded was.
so the black box records like speed, acceleration, braking, stuff like that of a ship.
Well, there would also be a separate black box for communication.
Yes. Well, I think the same one would work
Oh,
the
okay.
same thing.
So I'm looking at communications. I'm looking
Okay.
at a transcript and audio.
So you would see that probably um, like 5-10 minutes before the black box was disabled, the ship did break significantly, not to a total stop, but it did break significantly.
But it's slowed, yeah.
Yeah, slowed. And then communications wise, you would see that there was a an audio radio message received from an unknown source to the ship's bridge, and then back and forth, like maybe 2 times, and then nothing.
All right, I'm gonna make a better check to see what they actually say.
Okay.
3. Hey.
Okay. So you can access only the what's outgoing from the ship. So you can't you don't know what the people said to the ship,
Yeah,
but you know what they
yeah.
said to the ship.
I can see I can get what the people said to them.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
so what's that rundown looking?
I think the one message you would get from going from the ship to whatever whatever other party was there was a 2 word message. We surrender.
Hmm.
And that's that
So
last message.
is that intern still here?
You can fetch him easy enough. Mr. Oid is also with you as well, so you can have him do that.
So I'm gonna have Andrew take a look at this. What are you thinking about their situation?
Well, I suppose it's possible they're still out there. However, it's not like we know much about the attackers themselves.
Well, yes, this is true. It's safe to assume that they were attacked. We know how many people need to run the ship, so I'm assuming it's a large force.
The number for the crew would be only about like 6 to 10 people maybe, and plus a captain. Most of the systems are automated, but the human crew are needed to handle the human element, like shipping, like actually handling like docking and
Like the engines and
loading
stuff.
and stuff. Yeah, and like maintenance for longer journeys. But
Yeah.
everything standard is automated.
Hmm. Was there a surveillance, like a system of surveillance on the ship?
On the ship, there were not cameras or anything on the ship. Um, hmm. There may have been actually, yeah, there may have been cameras underneath the ship that would have been used to look underneath the vessel to see like fish or to see land masses and stuff
Hmm.
for the automated GPS system to direct the vessel away from like an underground island or something, or like like an underwater mountain or a geothermal vent or something like that.
Okay. All right. So what I'm gonna try and do, I already know the ship has Wi-Fi.
Yes.
I'm going to try and access, assuming that the ship is still on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try and access their network directly. Or well, yeah, I'm basically gonna plug myself into this computer and try and access their network from this network, seeing as it's on the same system.
Okay. Yes. You jack yourself in the matrix really quick. Um, So Mr. Oi just sees Cairo pull out these thick metal tubes, like wires, put one at the base of his neck, one on the side of the computer, and as soon as they make contact, he just falls unconscious, face down on the computer. Uh, in the Matrix. Uh, yeah, you can see basically the Matrix version of this is you can see your avatar, if you will, in Matrix space, and you see that you are standing next to this giant server bank that spans up into infinity, and that is the C platform. And there are a bajillion spiderweb like tendrils going off to other vessels. And you can see the information being transferred back and forth. And you can see that one of them is much less information being transferred back and forth, and you know that's the ship you're looking for because you know the name and reference number for the chip. So you just find the right thread, and you can find the system that they're working off of.
Yeah, so I guess I'm gonna follow that thread.
Yep, you follow the thread, and you can see that there is like a little cube of like moving, flowing binary data in matrix space that represents the ship's systems.
All right, so I guess I'm gonna try and gain access then.
Okay, roll your 1d10, and I will roll my 1d10. whoever rolls higher wins. Oof. Oof.
Oh.
So you kind of like prod the cube, and you kind of like get like zapped a little bit. You're like and it's like it appears that whatever system Hermes has in place to defend people from piggybacking onto their ship's automated systems is good.
I'm gonna try one more time.
Alrighty, you can try and prod one more time. Another oh.
Oh!
So you know that this system is top of the line, best in its possible class. It rolled 2 8s in a row. Very good, Hermes. Very good.
Admin privileges my ass, and then I just
Yeah, just
slam my fist into it.
as you just, and after you kind of crack the initial shell, you punch your hand through. You punch your hand through. Your vision goes like binary for a second as you get sucked into this different layer of matrix space, and now you see all the different individual systems. The generator. You see the automated arm system, the AI implant systems. You see the life support. You see the fuel system. All the different electronics in this ship are now their own little mini cubes around the place.
Okay. So what's online?
Everything is online except for the black box, the GPS. Yeah, that's probably about it. Everything else is running.
I'm gonna turn on remotely the tracker.
Okay. So now I have to roll 1d6 instead of 1d8. Make this hack roll. Got a 3, got a 4. Oof.
Oh yeah!
So you manage to kind of like take this much smaller cube than the previous one, kind of take it in your hand, you kind of like press your thumbs through the like hard exterior, and like crack it in half, and then all of this data spills out, and you can get this cool like readout display. You can drag it like the windows around and stuff, and you can just hit one little button that says turn on, and you just boop, poke your finger through it, and it turns green, and the cube reforms, and now it is, instead of being black and dark and gross and no numbers, it's now flowing with binary, and it connects to the other systems and to the main system. And then you can also see that it runs from the big cube you first punched through all the way to the C platform, massive server bank.
All right. Well, looks like I'm unjacking myself.
All right, so you unjack yourself. That's a weird phrase.
I'm removing myself from the matrix.
Yes.
In other words.
And so, Mr. Oid, you see that Cairo goes unconscious for like less than 5 minutes before he just and then pulls the cord back out, and it's like,
Well, find anything useful?
Well, the tracker's back online, which I'm going to check up on right now.
Alrighty, so you check the tracker. You kind of refresh the page a couple times, you know.
It refreshes twice because you can never get the content you're looking for on the first refresh.
Mm-hmm. It runs on Google Chrome still in 2100.
Yeah.
And it's 2099 actually. So you refresh the page a couple times, and you do eventually see that probably a few miles off in the middle of open ocean, the GPS tracker blip has now appeared.
Go grab the guy. Forgot his name. I didn't like it.
The intern or the Johnson?
The guy that we're here for.
Mr. Gilks?
Yes.
All right.
I'm kindly asking Artho. Mr. Oid,
Ah,
please.
XD, I, give a little salute and I leave.
Cool. Yeah, it's easy enough to find Mr. Gilks. He's in his office, still in that same silk robe. He hasn't changed apparently.
What an asshole.
Yeah.
All right, so
you walk.
I walk in.
Yeah, you walk in the office. He's there. Yeah, there's now 2 cigars in the ashtray. The first one has been like finished, and the second one going. And you walk in, and he goes, Mr. Oid, how are you? What do you need?
Oh, nothing really. Just you. We have a development on the location of your vessel.
Oh, you do? Fantastic. And he stands up from his desk, and he kind of They say that he pokes a spot on the desk. The chair moves backwards for him. He gets off. He moves back into place. He waddles back around the desk, and he's like, "Please, show me what's going on."
All right. I just bring him the helix, and
You mean Cairo?
Yeah, wrong character.
You're good. You're good. I'm sure Helix could do this too.
Probably. Yeah. So you bring him in. Takes him like 2 minutes, 3 minutes to get there. Not too far away. Yeah. So the two of you walk through the other sliding door into the little like weird ISO cube office cubicle that they shoved Cairo into. And door opens, and he's there, wild haired, thermos open and half finished, staring in the doorway.
You're lucky you got here this quick. I've been trying to keep it on for the past 20 minutes. Where have you been?
Mr. Dix is like, please forgive me. My short legs, my old age, and my smoking.
Well, your ship's on a slow move in the middle of the ocean, but tracker's on, if barely holding together.
Excellent. He's like, it's like I assume that the three of you are chomping at the bit to go and retrieve the ship. It's like, so
We're going to need more than the three of us if you think we're getting that ship back alone. You're insane.
Like, well, unfortunately, I really can't spare too many of my.
Well, then you're gonna have to spare some.
I can give
Even
you,
if it's
I
a
can give
drone
you, I can
or
give
a
you
heli.
drone. I can give you a drone, and I can give you a vehicle to get there with it. Do that. That much is easy.
Give us a chopper and a drone.
All right. What kind of drone do you want?
Something heavy.
Well, do you want flying? Do you want aquatic? Do you want humanoid? Give me specifics here.
Quadcopter with heavy arms, if possible.
All right. You want a flying heavy armored drone. All right. I think I can make that work. Give me half an hour. Head down to the jetty. The automated system there will tell you what boat's yours, and then the drone will be there. Meet you when you.
Wait, we're taking a helicopter.
Oh, right. Head up top, all the way up top, to the roof of the sea platform. You got to go to the right sea platform. One by the airfield. Over there is the helipads.
Right. Be there.
Alrighty. And then he waddles back towards his office to start handling the bureaucracy required to rent a quadcopter, heavily armed drone.
And a helicopter.
Helicopter's easy. He's an executive. He can do what he wants. But the gun is the president of the company is like, you have to sign Form 83B, but in order to get 83B, you gotta get 82B, and in order to get 82B, you gotta sign 82A, and then you gotta, and then it's just hell.
Yeah. All right. Well, Kyra's gonna go back to his room, grab Ankh, grab my pistol, I'm gonna grab my rifle, I'm gonna check my pistols, make sure they're locked and loaded, put on my mask, ready to go.
Alrighty. Yeah, bonus. He walks out of his room, cracks his knuckles. And he's
Knuckle.
Like, yeah, well, no, actually, he has no fleshy arms, I don't think.
No, he has one arm robotic and then
Yeah.
one arm fleshy.
Yeah, so he cracks his one pair of knuckles, and then he can like stretches a little bit, takes his guns, puts them away, his head. Mr. Oid, your preparations, my friend.
I have gun. I have other gun. I have funny costume that isn't actually real.
Are you gonna disguise yourself as Garban?
Why, of course.
So the helipad, we see this slow-mo, cool action movie walk out where the door slides open, the wind's blowing through our hair, and,
Masks.
In masks, and we walk out. There's Bonus, his trench coat billowing in the wind like an anime protagonist. We got Cairo with his drone hovering next to him, his mask, his cool gun,
Trench coat, fluttering in the wind as well.
Yeah, and then we have Mr. Oid, Hawaiian shirt, cargo shorts.
Mustache going
Oh
crazy.
yeah, mustache is just like it's like a squid. It's going crazy over there. Mr. Jibby Jambo Jr. having a great old time
He's holding on them aviators with nothing but his eyes.
in true grit. What's the detective say?
True grit and determination. Wide grin plastered across his cheek.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And you walk in the helicopter. It is a pretty standard helicopter. It can seat like 4 or 5 people. It's like the what's it called? Not a Huey. It's like the really small ones where you have like the co-pilot, pilot, and they have like the benches on the outside.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. It's
Yeah.
a buzzard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that. Bonus will offer to sit on the outside of the helicopter.
I'll do the same.
Who's gonna fly? Mr. Oid?
Huh?
Is Oid gonna fly then?
You guys trust me to fly a helicopter?
Bonus is like, okay, hold on. If there's gonna fly the helicopter, I'll do that job. He can fly a helicopter. Don't know why, but he can fly a helicopter. He's like, if you want me to fly a helicopter, I can. But like, I figured you guys wouldn't want to sit, on the outside, dangling 100 feet above the seafloor for 2 hours.
I don't care.
All right, tough guy. All right, whatever. And he gets in.
I'm gonna wrap my arm around one of like the poles
Yeah.
and like have it in my elbow, so that that's how I'm holding onto the bar.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, you do that. You kind of hold on for dear life. Mr. Oid can be either co-pilot or he can hang out the side. It's up to him.
I think having 2 pilots would be more advantageous.
It would be. It would give Mr. Bonus advantage on his checks if you're wondering.
Please sit. Actually, no. We're playing like Chinese fire drill here. I'll sit next to Bonus so that Oid can sit on the other side. Because, hey, I'm competent.
Did you say that out loud?
Yeah. You know what? Yeah.
And Bonus goes, "Well, see about that one." And he starts flicking buttons and switches and got the joystick and the blades were to life. And the helicopter lifts off without any problem. He's a competent pilot, or at least appears to be a competent pilot. And we head over, start making our way to the lovely cargo ship. Yay, new map.
Oh, whoa. Wow.
Yeah, it's legit. It's real legit. I love it.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, it took me forever to find on the Steam Workshop, but I did it. And I also have our minis over here, in case you're wondering. If you want to check them out, they're all over. Pre-prepared. Anyway, so we make our way over to the lovely helipad. The cargo ship. You know the location and everything like that. It's fine. And sooner or later, over the horizon, you see this large form of this cargo vessel breach the horizon line.
Indeed. Do we have parachutes? I want to make sure that we do.
There would be 2 parachutes, one for the pilot, one for the co-pilot. That's how they work. That's not me being mean. It's just how the helicopter works. I'm not lying to you here.
All right. Now we're getting interesting. All right. Cool.
I'm gonna find my helicopter. I have a helicopter prop in here somewhere. I'm gonna find it. Where are you? Show yourself. Sniffing you out. Where are you? This is the wrong one. Where are you? Yeah. So here we go. I found it. Boom. No, my helicopter. No, where did it go? Always over here.
I see it. I see it. There it is.
There we go. So he's I'm gonna move, just a little bit of fun role playing here. Ooh.
What's that?
Yes. No, that's definitely the wrong one. That's the water line. I don't want to move that. Oh boy. Here we go. I've got it. There we go.
Might want to rotate that.
And then we hit the rotate button. Hey, there we go. So we are currently up around over there in our little helicopter. So how close are you going to get to this chopper?
In this chopper?
Yeah. How are you gonna
Uh,
like? How close to the ship are you gonna get?
well, I mean, we have to.
Okay. Yeah. So for conversation's sake, there is a landing pad at the front of the ship. This model isn't perfectly the size that it actually is bigger than this. So you
Right.
want to come in for a landing then?
So, can we see the guy?
Well, okay, so as you go to approach to begin trying to come in for a landing, um, yeah, you would see these two dudes around what is a helipad basically, and then you wouldn't see these dudes around here or like right there, but you would see these two, and they are they're not wearing like uniforms. They're wearing like flannel shirts and like cargo pants, like plate carriers and ballistic vests. They have some of them have shotguns, some of them have rifles, some have SMGs. And yeah, that's these two dudes. What you can tell.
I'm gonna like lean back to I'm gonna like look back to Mr. Garbanzo. Hey, you might want to get those beans ready.
Ah, they always are.
That's yes,
See those
that's
two on the.
ominous.
That's ominous. I'm gonna say to him, hey, you see those two on the front?
Why, of course.
Well, I don't want to.
Ah,
Classic.
You know
alright.
what to do.
Of course I do. It's not like we haven't done this before.
We've bombed a boat before. Simple.
Exactly. I'm gonna let Mr. Oid take over the firing upon these fools.
All right.
Does the helicopter have a gun?
No, no, it does not have a gun.
No? Ah, that's unfortunate.
Alright, well, if that's the case, I'm just gonna pull out one of my beans. I'll put it in the.
The grenade launcher.
The
Yeah, I was
launch
gonna come up
tube.
with a funny name for it, but
You
it just
put
didn't work.
in the can.
In the pot. It's in the can. It's in the can.
The can, yes, the can. I put my beans in the can, and I get ready to take a shot at these guys. You want me
This
to
will
roll?
be what? Perception at disadvantage?
Just a normal perception, because I mean, I assume, are you gonna do a flyby, or are you just gonna hover above them?
Well, we're gonna be hovering.
Okay, yes, it is normal, straight. Perception check.
6.
Sex. Okay,
That is enough, I believe.
it is. Yeah. So, Mr. Oid leaning off this super sci-fi AK, his grenade launcher just, thunk, and you see the little smoke trail of wisps behind it as it. And it is a 5x5 square area. Definitely hits these guys. It's
How much damage are we rolling?
D100 damage per. So I need to get. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, they're falling through. Apparently.
Yes.
Where are they even going? They're gonna
Right
be here
here.
somewhere. Okay. It's 1, 2, 3.
They keep spawning back in.
Yeah. You got 4. Where's the final one? There we go. 5. No. This does. Oh my god. 203 damage to both of them. They're both gone. So this
All right.
it's right in the middle of them. These two dudes just poof, and they get blown away and they both fly off the sides of the ship. Now we get to
Lifeless
roll
bodies.
initiative.
All right.
That's a 1d4. I want to roll 1d4.
Are we playing Flight of the Valkyries as we enter?
Yeah, of course. I got a 10 for the enemy
Sick.
initiative, so that's fun.
Well, so did I. So
I got an 8.
All right, so Mr. Void got a 10, so he gets a 16. You do just barely go before the villains. Interesting.
8 and 5.
8 and 5, so you get that's a 13. What does Ankh get?
Oh, Honk. Yes, I shall calculate.
Roll for Anki boy. Bonus will also roll
7.
7. So he gets a 14. And then bonus gets a 5 plus, what is his? Agility 6. He gets an 11. And what does the super cool Hermes drone? What does the super cool Hermes drone get? It's a pretty slow drone, but you know. Oh, it gets a 6.
Oof.
Oof. Poor Hermes drone. There we go. Okay. All right. So up first is Mr. Oid again. Actually, so he's still hovering above the air, about to start swooping down to come down for a landing. You can see one other villainous mercenary over here.
all right. Well, I've got a gun for a reason.
All right, you're gonna take a couple shooty shoots.
X D. Wow.
What was it?
Ah.
Was it a 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Make me. Ooh, you want to make you make an agility check? Make an agility check. Sure. This will be fun.
Alrighty. Oh wow, that's not much better. 4.
4. What's your agility? 6. Okay, just enough. So you go to shoot your gun at this other mercenary, right? And the sudden little pings of gunfire against the chopper side, and the sudden gust of wind comes along. As you're trying to aim, you get knocked off the side of the helicopter. And you just barely manage to kind of grab onto the side of one of the handles. So you're now swinging out of the chopper, just firing this assault rifle randomly in the air, just shots go of course very wide. However, you do look really cool doing it. So
There you go.
you know, consolation prize.
And you see, that's what this was all about.
Exactly.
Of course.
It's all about having fun.
Next is the villains, the enemies.
Yeah.
So this merc, he sees the chopper. He's all of us probably would, except maybe Mr. Oid, would see him talk into like a walkie-talkie on his vest, and then he's gonna move. This is technically the helipad right here, the loading bay doors. Where's he gonna go? I don't know. He can't go anywhere that's not gonna get shot at anyway. He's gonna stay here. This dude, however, was prepared for this. He pulls out what is basically an anti-air rocket launcher. Because they're prepared for this. So it's like a Pila, like the long tube read out thing. And he's like,
well, it seems like we have a new priority.
And Cairo, you see on the many screens of this sci-fi helicopter, you see one of them starts flashing, target lock, target lock, target lock, and you're like, oh no! So he's gonna fire a rocket at the.
Do we have to pull in agility?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go into my driving rules because these do apply to flying a helicopter. Let me find them quickly.
Do we get this check at advantage though?
I don't believe so.
You said, do you want to have a co-pilot to get these checks at advantage?
So you do, yeah, because you have a co-pilot. You're special. So you can dodge, you can swerve, you're on a road to avoid obstacles, dodge ability for vehicles, faction. Okay. Maneuverability check to determine success. So just roll 1d10, and then the maneuverability of a helicopter. I have the stats for this chopper over here. Let me find him really quickly. So roll me 1d10, and while I find these numbers.
We need 2.
Yeah, we need 2. Bam.
Thank you.
There's your number 2 for you. Helicopter.
It is a buzzard, by the way.
Yeah.
So it would have high agility.
Yes, it would.
Oh, look at that advantage.
Ah, perfect. So this target lock, and you're like, oh no! So you yank the joystick, and from the top of these cargo containers, you just see this rocket just go, and it dodges out of the way, and you see that the screen still flashes target locked, and as you hear the missile fly past you, you look in one of the back cameras on this helicopter, and see the rocket begins to turn around to come back next turn to try to hit you again. So that's always fun.
All right, well, is Jimmy Jumbo Jr. Still hanging on?
Yes. Actually, yeah. Make me another agility check because that swerve was violent, and you might fall off.
Ah! Okay. Oh, 7.
All right. Oh.
So actually, you managed. So actually, the swerve is in the direction. So like you're hanging off the right side. You swerve to the right, and when you swerve, Mr. Oid ends up sitting back on his seat. It comes full circle.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. So before the next turn, we need to land.
So first up is Ankh. I assume he's probably either. Is he in the helicopter or is he flying around the helicopter?
He's probably flying directly under the helicopter to avoid the blades.
Okay. Is he gonna do anything special this turn?
I think since I installed that higher caliber, he's gonna try and shoot at the Merc by the cargo bay door or the landing pad.
Okay, sure.
So he's kind of like latched on to the underbelly of the helicopter.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna find a nice mini for our robo friend here. He's gonna be a bat.
All right.
We have this one. Boop.
8. All right.
All right.
Onk. Getting them stats. What do we want the 45 ACP to be?
Well, it would still be 2d100 damage per.
2d100?
Yeah. Those two.
Very nice. I really should have given him the sniper, as in Garbanzo.
Oh, yeah. That would have been smart, yeah, actually. But it's fine. That does not.
110.
He's down to 90 health. So Ankh kind of hovers down, under like over towards the ship, and he just kind of, as he flies past, you just kind of see the gun kind of swivel a little bit, and poof, and it impacts the Merc in the chest, and he stumbles back against the barrels, and he falls over the barrels, and he's like, oh. He's not happy right now.
Good hit. Good hit.
Next up is Mr.
All right.
Sparrow.
I'm gonna turn to bonus. Let's land this sucker.
Bonus just flip the big headphones on. Bonus turns to you, gives you a thumbs up, and then yanks on the joystick to try to help you.
All right.
So you want to land the helicopter.
User.
Make me another maneuverability check at advantage, of course.
All right.
5 and a 2, 5. All right. Yes, it definitely passes. So you manage to avoid the small arms fire, avoid the swinging crane and the metal beams and the containers and the smokestacks.
Now this guy should have to make a check to avoid the blades.
So I'm trying to. I can't select the.
Because we would be flying in very close proximity with where he is.
Yeah, you'd be flying right over his head.
So does he have to make a check or is he good?
I'm just gonna put this baby. Wow, why are you flying? Oh, yeah,
Turn collisions off. Turn collisions off. And then lower the height.
Collisions. Auto raise, sticky, drag selectable. I forget how to turn off. Physics maybe, yeah, physics. No. How? Okay.
If anything, just bring it down.
I think I can. I don't know if I can. I'm gonna try to lock it, and I'm gonna try to move it on down. Yeah, he had to make a check. I don't know. Would he have to make a check for that? I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah,
when he, I mean, technically we
I'd say so.
also cut this giant metal stack in half too. But you know,
That's fine.
this is not to
Fine.
scale. Yeah, so he's gonna make an agility check to avoid getting crushed by a helicopter. He does not.
Wow.
That's probably gonna be 4D100. Being totally honest,
Wait, he does not avoid it?
he's not. He's very dead. So you come down, and the back rotor of the chopper is kind of and cuts him right up the center of the body and the torso and the head.
Yes.
And cuts him in half.
So he's like regaining his balance, like clutching his wound and everything, and then he turns around and the blades are right there.
I just and
Nice.
that's
Killing in style.
of course. Next is bonus. He hops out of the chopper. We gotta use our lovely little minis. Bonus is barbarian mini. Don't ask why. He hops out. Where's he gonna go? He knows that this dude's still here, with his.
But he's only got a rocket launcher.
Yeah. Suppose he's gonna run over, climb up. Oh, not fall over. Hopefully, you know. Hiya. He's gonna draw his big pistol and. Come on, bonus. The 8 that passes. 4D100 damage.
Oh, he's very dead.
That's
That's 200 right there.
200 plus it's
That's
300 damage
300.
total. Oh, perfect. Right in the head.
He pulls off a very deft mantle, and as he's mantling up,
And gets him right in the nose, and it blows his head out. And he drops. He's like the Pila launcher, like the rocket launcher, gets like just like tossed over his head. And you see as when where the rocket launcher like by points, the rocket flies over the ship, back over and poofs into the ocean and blows a giant column of water into the air. Next is the Hermes Drone.
yes. So it's probably detecting hostiles.
Yeah,
So
I'd say at
it's.
this point
I
it
think
is
it's.
detecting.
I think it's gonna go after. Huh. So they're gonna go after this guy or this guy? I think it's gonna go after this guy.
This guy? Okay.
Yeah.
This,
And it's gonna probably fire a relatively small cannon,
I'd say either like,
like a Browning.
yeah, like a 50 cal.
So it's gonna fire what, 4 shots?
Yes, 4 shots at a -1 each.
All right. Drone, don't let me down.
Fail, fail, pass, pass.
All right, so these two fail.
That's 10D100 in total. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right.
Yeah. This is going to very much kill him.
Oh, if it doesn't kill him, I'm gonna be surprised.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 580.
So he's bum 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 bum. Actually, roll me the damage for the other two that you missed. So we'll 10D100. Just for, I just want to see if this happens. I just want to see. That's, you know, cause I'm curious. To get 100 there, to get 200 there.
440.
640 because you got 2.
640.
Yep. So this Browning is bum 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 bum, and the first couple, is like the first one knocks like the full right half of his rib cage out off of him, in the ocean, just chums him. He's fish food
Yeah.
now. The other rounds that get pumped into the cargo containers knocks this crane over and like slams into the crane, and it cuts the big metal beam, and like the thing falls and slams into the deck and punctures holes in it, and like the whole thing is like steam.
Does this part fall in the water?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this giant plume of water coats this whole part of the ship. This guy pees himself a little bit. Having seen that drone just take out a crane.
This guy doesn't know what's going on yet.
Yeah, he's still like, huh?
It's like, what?
Yeah, what's going on? Back up the turn order, Mr. Oid.
Ugh.
All right, I believe it's time to dismount.
Well, you were
And
already on the deck.
Yeah,
Oh wait, no, you were back on the
he's
seat.
in
Oh,
the
never
boat.
mind.
So you are on the deck now.
and I believe I'll go around the left side, and I'll try and shoot that man.
6. All right. You are a distance away, but yeah, sure. Make me those perception checks.
This isn't going well for you, is it?
All right, so including the -1, I got a 4, a 5, a 0, and a 7.
Oh,
Oh, so 2 of those pass.
yeah. Actually, all those passes. You got a 4. Yeah, it's a 7. So 3 of those
Oh
passes.
yeah.
The 0, of course, just whiffs into the ocean. You
No,
you
the
kill a fish.
0. The 0 would be a crit, no?
No, he got a 1 minus 1. He got a 0.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
he's saying. So you kill a dolphin in the water near the ship.
You monster.
But
How tragic this fate is.
yeah, terrible. Roll me that damage. That's like that would be 90-100 in total.
3D per.
Yeah.
3 shots hit, yeah, I'd say so. You should roll all of them because
Just
poor fish.
poor fish. Fish takes 200 damage.
All right, so fuck. Actually, one moment, please.
He's going to get his dice. I'm assuming. There's a ladder here. Didn't notice that before. That's a fun detail. Show how much
Wait, what's there?
There's a. Gonna get my ruler out right here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I saw that. Have a vent.
Is Mr. Oid back? Hello, sir. What is
Have a vent.
What is the damage that you've done?
490.
Oh boy! So you run this corner, you peek, you just this automatic burst of AK fire shreds this poor person who's like just his head just turns and goes and then she tumbles off over the side into the water and a shark eats her.
We've turned this boat into a COD map.
Pretty much, this is shipment all over again.
No, this is a crew expendable.
Yes, yeah. Other Modern Warfare map. Now up next is the enemies.
They can't really do anything.
Yeah, this guy who would have had a sniper rifle. Really
I mean,
can't see
he can try to shoot the drone.
Okay, yeah, he'll try to shoot the drone. He does hit the drone.
I'm gonna counter snipe. Wait, can the drone dodge?
No, but the drone would have armor. So roll me 1d10.
Okay.
I have the armor stat in my head, so if it passes or fails, that passes. So this sniper, the bright red laser beam, because it's like video game logic, off in the distance, and she's it's like sci-fi Dragonov fires, and it plinks against the armor of the drone, and the drone is unaffected.
It's like a VTOL. It's just you can shoot it at all you want.
It's not gonna do anything.
It's not going down.
This poor guy, this dude, all the way back here, spends his turn dashing to get up top.
All right, so this crane is no longer here, correct?
Yes, this crane would be gone.
Yes. All right, so it's my turn. Technically, it's Ank's turn. Ankh is gonna move here and take cover. Yeah, just get that out of here. That's so half-assed.
Hold on. I'm making it better. It's in progress. It's in progress.
It's so half-assed. Why is it sideways?
Because it's falling off.
It's half in the ship.
Wow.
Look, quality storytelling here, Kode and Gabe.
We're experiencing a glitch in the Matrix. All of our characters just see the crane no clipping through the side of the boat.
Alright, fine.
All
You're
right.
gonna be picky about my props. Christ. Here.
Just move it into the water.
Here.
There you go. That's so hard.
It's sinking.
All right. So Pharaoh, right? Because, wow, that flip. All right. So I'm gonna take cover and like kind of prop myself up
Mm.
behind this pole right here, and I'm gonna take out the rifle, take a shot at this guy.
All right. You do so.
All
You
right.
can't dodge, so just roll the.
He can't even see me.
Nope. And you get advantage because you have thermal scope.
Oh! I don't need it.
You don't need to go to 10. Epic. So you do
Let me check.
4d100 doubled.
Yes, yes, and I have a thermal scope.
Yeah, that gives the advantage. So you see this dude's heat signature off in the distance, and you're like, tasty flesh.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
270.
Now in this.
No. I was firing
Oh,
at this guy
that
up here.
one? Okay, I'll just move the
Yeah.
piece over. So it just and falls over the edge and clang splash.
Okay. So he hits his head on the railing.
He hits on the edge of the ship and like splits his head open and blood goes everywhere, and then he into the ocean.
Nice. Nice.
Now we're up to.
And it's nothing more than like the sound of a whip cracking.
Yeah, basically. What does Ankh do?
Ankh took his turn moving,
Oh, he did.
and
Okay.
assumably he'd move out here and take a pot shot.
Okay. Give me that check.
He's gonna be a lot harder to hit though.
Yep.
He's not some big ass drone. That's a 7. That hits! Wow, my boy! My tiny boy.
120 damage. Jesus.
So Ankh like takes this shot and it lands right in his gut.
It just pop, and this Merc with the sniper rifle's like, as I'm trying to hit the big drone again, it's launched to the side, and it's like almost falls to the ground. He's like, God, who are these guys? And then, next comes.
All right, so
bonus.
I don't think we want to kill this guy yet.
Bonus 5, 10, 15, 20.
I don't think we want to kill this guy yet. Bonus.
So bonus. Well, bonus knows not about non-lethal.
I'm gonna radio to bonus, and I'm gonna tell him like, "Hey, wait, don't kill this guy yet."
So you say, okay. So you tell him, "Hey, wait, don't kill this dude yet." And he's like, "I'm not." And he's going to.
I mean, we're basically out of combat. This is one guy against 4 trained professionals, pretty much, and a drone.
Well, he still is an active combatant. He's still trying to kill you all, even if you're not trying to kill him.
Shoot him in the leg, if anything.
Yeah, you can have non-lethal damage. So you're gonna shoot him in the leg, try to disable him.
I mean, he's already been shot in the gut.
Yeah. He got a 9. This does half. This is no. So this can't kill him basically, but it can knock him unconscious. He's very much automatically just at 0 health, but he's still technically alive.
Yeah.
He's unconscious though. Wow, these guys aren't.
Non-collidable.
Yeah. So he's just.
Oh well, that works.
Glug. His bonus walks up, bang, blasts his kneecap through. His leg limply falls to the side and just collapses. My box. My box.
All right.
Where's my crane? Now my box. Haha, it's floating box now.
All right.
Why is it named Merc? The box is named Merc. Epic. Anyway.
All right. Well, time to go and see what this guy knows.
Alrighty. So I assume we all approach the unconscious man.
Yeah.
Alright. That's where we're gonna leave this episode off, actually. Cliffhanger.
Oh, you scumbag.
I am.
Wow.
I am. Now there is more to this fight, by the way. That's what this big black box over here is for. Not everyone's dead, but you know, epic cliffhanger.
Lamau.
Lamau Zedong.
Lamau Zedong.
Steak.
The door fell.
The door fell. Where did the door go? How are you gonna put the boss now? You can't put the boss in the get into the bridge.
Wow. Impeccable construction, really.
Oh, I see what you
This
did.
really is just a marvel of human engineering.
Man, I'm surprised you haven't said anything about the vent on the cargo container.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't been watching your stream the whole time. I just noticed.
Well, this is the cargo container they put like human beings in, you know, like animals. The vents there to let them breathe.
Well, anyway, thank you for joining us, our friends. If you enjoyed this episode, please let us know in the comments below. And for Kodian,
Yeah.
our friend Xavier, Javier, Don, Jimmy, Jamba, Bean Jr., we will see you all next time, and thank you once again for joining us on Quest for the Core.